Hello and welcome to the Sexuality Scale Project podcast. My name is Hannah Wolfen and I am the host and creator of the podcast and the project. I just wanted to give a short intro to explain what the Sexuality Scale Project is about and why I started it. Ever since I was younger, in my teens, I always felt a bit different. Obviously, besides the fact that I'm gay, which I also realized quite young, but I hid in the closet for quite a while as well. But I also felt like I didn't see sex or falling in love or dating the same way as the people around me as I grew into my teens. And sometimes I kind of felt like I made that into a bigger deal than they did. And that continued quite on into my 20s. And I even lost some friends along the way because of the way I am and how I think about it and the way I see it. Because I always felt peer pressured to have sex or one-night stands, and sometimes it felt really abusive and kind of like bullying. And I felt misunderstood, and I was called a prude or old-fashioned, and sometimes I was laughed at. And at some point, I just, as soon as you hit 30, you kind of learn how to accept yourself and kind of go over that feeling. I'm like, okay, well, I am who I am. And I always saw a correlation, this line with monogamy. And I think in my relationship, that was also kind of a thing that weighed in with the conversations that I had with my ex-partners. And then one day I was on Facebook and I was scrolling and reading posts and articles, as you do. And there was this one article about sexuality in kind of in a more general way, not sexual orientation, but sexuality in a more like how people have sex. And in that article, there was this term I hadn't heard before, and that's demisexual. And I read through the profile and the story of what a demisexual is. And for me, that just kind of hit home. And I was like, oh my God, this is me. This story is about me. This is how I've been feeling my whole life. And this is how I view sex, and this totally makes sense. And basically, in a nutshell, a demisexual is someone that needs to have an emotional connection with another person before they can be sexual and intimate with that person, because that kind of intertwines for a demisexual. I would say that, sex is not just sex. It's also being intimate with someone. That's how it feels for me. And also, this is on a spectrum. Not every demisexual will be the exact same way either. And that's something we need to learn as well. Like some demisexuals might be leaning more towards asexual, and some demisexuals might be leaning more towards allosexual. And so this weight just fell off of me. And it was this relief, like, oh my God, I'm not alone. And it felt like a whole new coming out. And all this bullying and being teased before about me being silly was, and sometimes people even call me frigid. And all this anger and sadness just kind of fell off of me. And I was like, oh my God, there's absolutely nothing wrong with me at all. And so many people had this attitude that I was just being silly and there was something wrong with me. And so that's why I'm doing this project. I want everyone to feel so liberated that they don't feel there's anything wrong with them. There's this thing, that people are like focused and I think a little bit more obsessed about is the norm. If you don't go out and get drunk and just go to bed when anyone you think is cute, or even when you don't think they're cute, but you're horny and you want to sleep with someone, you go to a bar, you get drunk, and you pick someone up. And if you don't succeed, oh my God, that's so sad. That's kind of seen as the norm. And also, if someone wants to go out and have casual sex every night and feel good about that, and that's just the way they tick, then that's okay too. I'm not saying that I'm obviously not doing the opposite of what I felt was being done to me. It's really all about live and let live and feeling good about yourself, right? So there's plenty of people out there that can have casual sex and not have an emotional bond against that, and that's fine too, obviously. But where do we draw the line, and when does it stop feeling safe, and when does it stop feeling consensual? Do we force ourselves to be, having sex when we actually don't want to have sex with this other person? So that's another reason why I want to open this up and talk about it. Um, and I know some people take a very short turn around that and go, but isn't that just, falling in love when you have emotions for them? Not necessarily. I can have an emotional bond with someone, sleep with them, but I might not be in love with them yet. I might have feelings for this person. I might be, bubbling up already, but I wouldn't say it's love. And so that's also a thing that needs to be understood out there, that an emotional bond doesn't necessarily mean it's love. It's the possibility of love, if you will. And so this whole norm, this normality that people try to push on you. And for me, that maybe sounds strange because I'm already gay. So if we're taking straight people as the norm, then I'm already not part of the norm, right? So why is this so different? Or why is this so separated out? But it is because anyone could be a demisexual. That has nothing to do with your sexual orientation. And so we're all different. And so I'm trying to create a new normal. I want a new normal. You are who you are, and I am who I am. And if I like you, if you're my friend, or I feel the possibility of love with you, then I want to explain that to you. I want to have the right language. I want to have the correct way of explaining to you how that works for me, and I want to hear from you how that works for you, so that we can understand each other and match each other and feel that we can be there for each other and maybe even have a relationship. And so this falls into any way of relationships that you can think about, because this also goes for polyamorous people or people in open relationships. Why are some people capable of open relationships and why are some people not? And again, someone else can be like, oh my God, you're such a prude, or oh my God, you're so old-fashioned. Like, we all should be able to have an open relationship. No. Just the same way that I do not see myself going out to a bar, picking someone up for a one-night stand. If I'm not really having a connection with that person. So that's why I'm doing this project. I want people to just feel good about themselves, love themselves who they are, having the right conversations with people in their lives, not force themselves to do something they don't feel is right for them. So the way I'm going about it is that I'm interviewing people anonymously and hear their stories and how they view themselves and how others have viewed them and the struggles that they felt in really being their true selves. And then there's also episodes where I'm discussing things with my friends to kind of process everything that we've heard in the podcasts and the topics that come up. And sometimes we'll talk about articles that we've read or stuff that comes up in the news. And basically, we just want to send out the message that will help people just in the same way like it helped me and some of my friends when I told them when I read that story and realized I was a demisexual and that there's absolutely nothing wrong with me. And I just want everyone to feel empowered to be themselves and also get into the right relationships. Think about why some relationships didn't work out for you. After listening to my story, after listening to a couple of these podcasts, look back on your life, on your relationships, and think about how they were with their exes or how they thought about sex if these topics came up. And when you meet your next person that you have feelings for and the butterflies are in your stomach, on how they view sex and if they've ever cheated and why did they cheat, if they were able to have one-night stands, or if that's just something that they don't do. Try to figure out how someone views being intimate, if there's a difference for them between being intimate and having sex. And go on that journey together to really get to know each other. Because my belief now is that your sex life and your romantic relationships will probably be better. So thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.